Well, Georgia Republican Senate nominee Herschel Walker is denying reports that he paid for a former girlfriend's abortion.
His statements come shortly after the Daily Beast reported the woman who chose to remain anonymous for now, but did show the receipts that she had this procedure done, said that it was in 2009 after the two conceived a child together. This report goes on to claim that the woman provided, as I said, a receipt from the abortion clinic, a bank deposit receipt, and even a get well card from Walker. The former NFL running back says the entire story is, quote, a flat out lie. Let's listen.
They'll do anything to win this seat, lie, because they want to make it about everything else except what the true problems that we have in this country is. This inflation, the border wide open, crime. They don't want to talk about that, so they're making up lies now because they need this Georgia seat.
Joining us now is CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion. Nikole, he says that this is all about the election, that there's no validity to these claims. The reason why it's important isn't just for the scandal of it, but because he has taken a position as a Republican nominee against abortion access. So how problematic will this report be for Walker's candidacy?
Well, I think it remains to be seen. What I can say is that we have seen this morning, since this report has come out, that Republicans are continuing to rally by his side. Just a short time ago, the NRSC Chair Rick Scott, who heads a campaign arm for Senate Republicans, put out a statement accusing Democrats of lying and basically saying that this is comparable to smears that were used against now Justice Brett Kavanaugh and Clarence Thomas. So, you know, that is kind of where some top Republicans are coming down on this issue. In terms of Herschel Walker, as you heard there, he is denying this story. He says that he is going to continue to fight for this seat. And what I can also add, having been to Georgia recently and talking to voters there, you know, thus far they have been willing to look past some of his other faults, if you will. Of course, this isn't the first scandal that has plagued Herschel Walker. There have been questions raised about the number of children he has. There have been allegations of domestic abuse against him. He has tried to be transparent about that in terms of the domestic abuse, saying that this was something that, you know, he attributed to mental illness. In the case of the children, you know, he did ultimately acknowledge them. But all that being said, again, many voters that I talked to down in the Peach State just a couple of weeks ago say, you know, look, politicians aren't perfect. And, you know, some of them are willing to support him, which is why we continue to see this race be as close as it is.
You know, Nikole, if you ignore the receipts that this woman who has chosen to remain anonymous has provided, if you choose to, you know, whatever the reality is, he's denying this. One thing that's really hard to deny and that he hasn't even spoken about directly is the fact that his son, Christian, came out and said that his whole family was against him running because they knew the reality of, you know, things about his life. He said things that, you know, like he threatened his family, that he was abusive, that the family had to flee him. Can you just walk us through what you know of the other things that his son has said? And has he commented or, you know,
beyond just saying, I love my son.
Beyond just saying, I love my son on this. And his son is a Republican. So, I mean, it's hard to argue that this is Democrats coming together against him.
Yeah, well, in terms of his son, he has said that up until now he has been quiet and simply couldn't anymore, which is why he is speaking out. Take a listen.
I was silent lie after lie after lie. The abortion card drops yesterday. It's literally his handwriting in the card. They say they have receipts, whatever. He gets on Twitter. He lies about it. Okay, I'm done. Done. Everything has been a lie.
So again, at this point, the only response we have heard from Herschel Walker about his son is that tweet that Lana referenced, just saying, you know, I still love my son, no matter what, which was kind of indirectly as his son was, you know, posting quite a bit on social media, both last night and this morning. But his son has been vocal about some of these things that have come up in the past. But again, really lashing out on this one after the story dropped.
Interesting, too, how his son had initially supported his candidacy publicly, and now we are hearing this. So we'll continue watching it because this is such an important race there in Georgia. Nikole, thank you.
You bet.